What are the 3 things that you can do the night before the ACT exam to make sure that you can have the best chance of success on the actual exam? Today in this video we're going to be talking about what you can be doing, what you should be focusing on, and how you should be doing those things to make sure that you can get the highest score possible and make the most improvement possible in the short amount of time that you have left. Let's get started. I want to keep this video as short and simple as possible because you're obviously cramming, you have a limited amount of time before the exam next morning at 8 a.m. So let's get into it. There's 3 things I'm going to be giving you, 3 things that you should be focusing on and using in your strategies tonight as you're practicing and getting ready for the exam tomorrow. The first thing that you need to be doing the night before the ACT exam is decide what sections you're going to focus on. I do not recommend taking a full practice exam or trying to understand or better yourself in every section possible because that takes a lot of effort. You're going to be confusing yourself. Don't try to do that. Focus on 1 or 2 areas and put all of your energy, time, and effort into those specific things. Again, this just comes down to the fact that you have a limited amount of time. So what exactly should you be doing once you've chosen what sections to focus on? Let's talk about those in points 2 and 3. So the second thing is I recommend that you take 1 or 2 practice exams per section that you decide to focus on. So let's say you're going to focus on English and reading. Fine. Take 1 or 2 practice exams for each depending on how much time you have. If it's late at night, maybe just take 1 exam for 1 section. Or maybe you want to do 2 or whatever you want. But judging by how much time you have left, go ahead and practice it. Obviously simulate the exam to the best of your ability, and you want to make sure that you're using all the strategies that you have been working on and trying to implement in the past. If you need strategies, I will link some videos and cards up here for each section of the ACT exam so you can learn strategies really quickly and at least take some notes and know what you need to be doing in terms of timing and things like that. But the main thing is you have to practice. What this practice does is it warms you up for the exam. You can get a last second understanding of where you're currently standing and again simulate the exam one more time before you go ahead and take the test. Again, it's the same thing as when you warm up before you go out and you work out, or when you warm up before you play a soccer match. You want to get yourself ready physically so that you can go ahead and succeed. And that's the same thing that you're doing with the ACT exam. Warm yourself up, make sure that you're as ready as possible, and then go ahead and take the test. Now, once you've practiced, this is where you really make your money. This is point number 3. Now let's just reiterate. The first thing is focus on 1 or 2 sections. Pick your 1 or 2 weakest sections. You have the most potential for improvement in those specific sections. After you've chosen sections, then you want to take 1 or 2 practice exams per section. So you'd be taking between 1 and 4 practice exams. And then the last thing is, that's the third point, which is what we're talking about now, you need to understand your mistakes that you're making. Not just in the practice exams that you've just taken tonight, but in the practice exams that you've taken in the past. Ideally, you've been taking those exams, but grading them and also looking over the mistakes, taking notes on the kind of mistakes that you're making, and trying to at least understand from the correct answer options how you can learn from those mistakes. You need to understand that your mistakes are evidences of your weaknesses, and you need to learn from those weaknesses and mistakes in order to make improvement. Those mistakes that you're making, that's the gap between your score and a 36. The more you learn about those mistakes, the better chance you're going to have of closing that gap. So what I recommend you do, let's say you take your practice exam for the math section tonight, and you get 10 questions wrong. Fine, that's okay. You're getting questions wrong, that's natural. Now you need to go ahead, and it's your job to understand what exactly went wrong. Why did you get those 10 questions wrong? Was it just because of timing mistakes? If it is because of timing mistakes, and all 10 questions were due to timing, then that means that you're doing fine from a content perspective, but you need to just get faster a bit. And that takes practice. Obviously you don't have time to keep practicing, but at least you know what the problem is. Or perhaps it's because you had a very bad weakness in understanding slope-intercept form, which 3 or 4 questions were asking about. Then at least you have a better understanding of what the skill is. Now, after you've identified that weakness, you can go ahead and find a way to fulfill that and learn that skill. And the idea is, if you've done this before in your past practice exams, if you look over your past practice exams and understand the mistakes you made in the past, and you understand the mistakes that you're making now, you can better assess yourself and you can learn from all those mistakes just by looking at the correct answer options and trying to understand the procedures. This right here is how you improve your ACT score. And I understand you have a limited amount of time, but if you make the most of this procedure, you can definitely find some improvement. And I promise you, this strategy has helped me the night before just improve my score, maybe 1 or 2 points, but obviously you know that, that's the difference between getting a, maybe an 86 percentile score and an 89 percentile. So keep these things in mind, try these strategies, and they should help you. One more bonus tip that I really recommend you follow is that you take notes for every mistake that you make. Let's say you take a series of math practice exams, and for each one you took notes, you wrote down each skill and question type for each question that you got wrong. If you follow this exercise, you'll not only have a better understanding of what mistakes you're making and what skills you're struggling with, but also how you can learn those skills just by looking at the correct answer options and understanding how the problem works. Because like I've said before, These problems and these skills, they repeat from exam to exam. For every ACT exam, you're getting tested on the same skill sets. So if you master the problems over a series of 8, 9, 10 exams, then you're really putting yourself in an advantage. And you can start doing that tonight. Start tonight, even if it's the night before the ACT, just start taking some notes on your weakest sections. And if you have your past practice exams that you've taken beforehand, take notes on those as well. Because even as long as you have those exams, you can still take those notes, you can still learn from those mistakes that you've made. The absolute worst thing to do is to make a mistake and then keep making that over and over again. That's not what we're here for. We want you to make mistakes, we want you to fail, but at the end of the day, you have to get up, try to find a solution to the mistake and the problem that's at hand, and keep going. And the way you do that, like I said, look at the correct answer options and learn from them. The more you do this, even if you don't completely understand what's happening, just do it. It'll help you. Do your very best to make that effort, and you should be fine. That's it for me, guys. I hope you guys do amazing on the ACT tomorrow. If you need official practice exams, there are 6 linked below for free in the description. Feel free to check those out, practice with them. There is a 2019-2020 exam there as well, so all up to date and ready for you. But apart from that, good luck on the test, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.